Hey guys, it's me Vidivedi and you are listening on Extended Reality Developers of a Community. And today we have Daniel with us. So Daniel Dyboski Bryant is founder of Educators in VR, and this community basically is the community of people who educate in virtual reality. So without any further delay, let's welcome our guest. So hi Daniel, welcome on the show.
Hi, Avi. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Daniel. So I just introduced you. I would love to know about more about you and your community. So yeah, let's start.
Yeah, okay, absolutely. First of all, I'm co-founder of Educators in VR. I founded it with my co-founder Laurel van Vossen, who's in Portland. And it's interesting because we've never met. We've been working for about 18 months,
Wow.
building this community and this company, but we've never met. I mean, we're very close friends now. The idea was born a little bit out of I remember being late one night and thinking we need to bring educators together because I was aware of this group there and that group there, but it was all on social media. I didn't see anything inside VR.
Okay.
And I thought, why not start and bring some people together?
Uh-huh.
Um, and maybe a little bit of background from me. I've been an educator for about 20 years or so.
Okay.
My parents were teachers as well, and my background is language teaching, English language teaching. So I teach migrant workers and I teach international students and refugees. And over the years I've seen quite a bit of educational technology come and go, but none of it really excited me. I can use it if I need to, but I didn't want to use it unless I had to, kind of thing. It didn't really do it for me. The day I put a virtual reality headset on, everything changed. And since that day, I've been learning literally every day about how we can use this in education.
So Daniel, there are a lot
Yeah,
of other options. Like you can even learn on YouTube. You have virtual
right,
classrooms. You have a lot
right.
of medium. So what is Educators in VR exactly?
Educators in VR is a community, and it's becoming a membership of educators, teachers, trainers, researchers, developers. Also, some government organizations are there, and we're from all over the world. And importantly, also, we're the grassroots. So there are some companies and organizations involved, but really, we've just found teachers and trainers with a headset in the classroom who are trying this stuff out. And we want to give them a place to come and share and join, because there are big organizations that are doing work in this area, but we wanted to really reach the people who are in the classrooms and maybe don't know where to start.
Okay.
And the idea is that together we put on workshops and resources and training courses to help them get started.
Okay. So these are surely the classrooms of future, or you can also say present because we are doing that exactly. Okay. So what was the exact story behind this community? You just mentioned that you met all your founders online, and you met
Yeah,
Facebook or whatever. Okay. So
right.
how
Yeah,
it's all started? What was the what was
yeah,
the
right.
vision behind everything?
So, like I said in the beginning, I had got the VR bug. I wanted to do this, and I saw this community, that community, but it was all like on Facebook and Twitter. And so my idea was, how about we do this inside VR? And so I put on the first event, like Educators in VR, let's do this. And I found a couple of people to work with. We had a lot more interest than I thought. And at that very first event, I met Laurel van Vossen, my co-founder. She joined in, and we had a chat afterwards and said, hey, let's work together. So then then it was a monthly event to start with. And we decided we needed a place for the community in between the events. So we started a Discord server. If you don't know Discord, it's amazing. And I invite you, please, Avi, I'll give you the link how people can join our Discord server. Um, and so we did monthly events, and then we realized there's a lot of appetite for this. We should do more events. Then we started doing one event a week. And now we're doing 2-3 events a week with like bigger events. We're doing day-long events, 2-day events. And it just snowballed from there. We were getting so many members from all over the place with people, ideas, volunteers wanting to help and join. That's how it all started out. By the summer of 2019, I think we'd reached like 500-600 members, and was like,
Wow.
this is bigger than we thought. and now we're actually at over 1,000 members.
Okay.
Yeah, it's remarkable.
Yeah. So about International Educators and VR Summit. So I saw in the last day of International Summit that you were showing the carbon emission stats. So this is how much carbon is saved because people didn't travel and they joined the summit through without traveling through VR. So this much carbon emission is saved. So it's a very interesting stat. I would love to know more about it.
Right. Well, as we came up with the idea for the summit, so you have to understand the summit was the idea that it was kind of like an anniversary for us. We wanted to do an event where we really did like everything we could. We showed everything we could. And it was going to be 2 days and maybe 3 days. And I said, come on, let's go big, let's do 6 days. And this was before coronavirus. Let's just like do it.
Yes.
And I thought it would be really. It was at the time, you know, with Greta Thunberg and the Extinction Rebellion and that whole movement of carbon reductions and the climate crisis that we still have. I mean, at the moment, everybody's only talking about coronavirus, but we still have a climate crisis. And so I said, wouldn't it be interesting if somebody could calculate the carbon emissions of a real world conference based on a certain number of people, and compare it to the carbon emissions of our virtual conference. Right. And so we had somebody from, I can find out who it was, we had somebody, let me see if I can find it, calculate what that would be. And we figured out it was 95% reduction. Wow. It was 95% reduction of carbon footprint. And not only that, Avi, but you have to understand, a real world conference, usually it's about 8 hours of content every day, right?
Right.
Yeah, you start in the morning, you finish in the evening, and then everybody goes home. But we did 6 days, 24 hours. So each one of our days was equivalent to 3 days of a real world conference, which means essentially we put on an 18-day conference.
Right.
And so
that was the beauty.
Yeah.
Yeah. I spoke to everyone. Everybody was online. Even I was online in the late night, starting from 2 a.m. to 4 a.m. So in such timings and all those. And the event was all the time, 24 hours. So that was the real beauty, because everybody was joining late night and everybody was joining out of their work, and they can do it. It was amazing.
Exactly. It was beautiful because, again, in a real world, you have to stick to one time zone. But in VR, we wanted to reach everybody. We wanted this to be available because it was an international summit. You know, why just do it for American time zones? We wanted to go everywhere. And it was, thinking back about it now, it was a real adventure, because there were days when I didn't sleep at all. And so it was quite heavy intensive, but I'm really glad we did it that way, because we managed to bring a lot of people in.
Right. So Daniel, on our previous call, we spoke about borderless VR classrooms. What is this exactly? Right.
Good question. And I'd like to just mention at this point, this idea was kind of given to me by a friend called Chris Long.
Okay.
He was a lovely guy. In May last year, he suddenly passed away. We were talking about this idea, and he and I wanted to start this idea, and he's had a sudden heart attack and he died. And I'm really passionate about keeping this idea alive. So what it is, he had this idea where a classroom which has VR equipment and a trainer that can actually use the VR equipment well. His word for that was a borderless classroom, because with VR you can go anywhere and you can do anything, you can meet anyone. There's no borders, right?
Right.
And so his idea was that we would take a classroom maybe in England, and a classroom maybe in, you know, India somewhere, and maybe a classroom in Africa somewhere, and we would make a project where those 3 classrooms could essentially meet inside VR and have a class together, and one of the teachers could teach the class. Exactly. So that was the seed of the idea.
Right.
And we've been working on that, and we've done those kind of little projects together already. But the borderless classroom network is bigger than that. If you have 3 classrooms, that's a micro network. Exactly. But I know of 50 classrooms, and next month it's going to be 100 classrooms. And when we come out of the coronavirus, pretty soon it'll be 1,000 classrooms. We want to reach all of those classrooms and create a network.
Are these classrooms real?
Yeah.
So actually people, students are in the classrooms and they are seeing your lectures? Is it like that?
Right. So Yeah, kind of like that. So imagine many of our members with educators in VR, they're working at a school,
Right.
right? And in their classrooms, they have some headsets. So it's not that we build the classroom, but our members, by having the training and the skills and the confidence and the equipment, they are already a borderless classroom. That's just, and so I know already now 50 to 100 classrooms like that around the world, probably more, that
Okay.
are able to do like multi-user experiences. We want to get them and connect them, and we can do that in two ways. One, maybe I will put on a lecture or a class, and I will tell you what time it is and what platform it is, and any schools anywhere could join that, right?
Okay.
But the other way we can do it is maybe that school in India and maybe that school in Wales in the UK where I am, they're just interested in the same kind of things. Maybe they're interested in the Olympic Games,
Right.
and they want to meet in VR and do their own project. And I don't educators in VR doesn't have to do anything for that. They can just run and do their own project in VR, right?
That's
So
interesting.
imagine 1,000 classrooms, 10,000 classrooms in the future. I mean, how many classrooms now have mobile phones, have tablets, have computers? Everybody has internet. Well, not everybody, but a lot.
Yes.
Pretty soon, give it a couple of years, many classrooms in the world are going to be able to do VR. We want to build a network for them to meet and share, but also for us to to deliver content.
Okay, Daniel, I just noticed an interesting thing about the community, your community,
Yeah,
that your content is not just limited to the headsets. Right now,
right,
I'm surfing the page of educators in VR in YouTube, and I
right.
can see bunch of lectures there. I can see a lot
Yeah,
of lectures there, and I
absolutely.
can definitely browse and go. And all these lectures are being done in VR itself. So you
Exactly.
recorded the lectures in virtual reality, and then you transmitted, or maybe you did a live or something
Six,
to
we have
this.
broken all
And
Exactly.
records.
there
Exactly.
Absolutely,
So
it's
is
in the
the
hat
especially
because
quality
you are part of
education
that.
you can find
Absolutely, you're part
anywhere
of it.
from world, and you can
And
simply browse it even without a headset,
exactly.
which is amazing.
Exactly that. That's really important because if we only stick to VR, then we're only reaching the people who are already there. But really important is reaching the people
next slide,
who
please.
think VR is only gaming, or think that VR is very difficult, or think that VR, they have
Next slide.
preconceptions about VR. We want to help them understand that it's now, it's accessible, it's ready,
So,
and
and that
it's
was then
viable
the
for
heart rate.
education. So it's important for us. At the summit, we recorded as much as possible of these, as many as possible of these lectures, and then we have been uploading them to YouTube recently.
Yeah, exactly. As you said, a lot of people don't have access to the VR
Right.
headset, but they still can use and watch, attend your lectures on YouTube as well.
Not only that, Avi, YouTube is very easy, but almost all of the platforms we work on are actually available on 2D PC. So you can download the software to your PC without a headset, and
Wow,
like a computer game like Minecraft, you can navigate around and you can talk and you can interact. So it's interactive as well. If you
that's
have
really amazing. Wow.
yeah.
And
I just wanted to
I
say
would
another word.
also
Sorry,
love to
can I?
show, right now I'm showing the website of educators in VR on my
Yeah,
platform, so people are watching it right now. Okay, so
yeah,
educators in VR has this immense amount of knowledge available on this website. You can see all the
right.
events, upcoming events, and the program they are having. You can see the events and which are scheduled nearby weeks. You can get the details. And Artspace VR is the platform basically where you do all the shows, right?
We do many of the platforms on Altspace, but I'd like to make the point that we're platform agnostic.
Okay.
We use Altspace because we know it well and it's quite good for what we want to do, but we also work on other platforms like Engage, like Rumi, like Firefox hubs, or Mozilla hubs, like Somnium Space, and there are a growing number of these platforms, these multi-user platforms. We want to explore all of them. It's
Wow.
not about having just one platform and doing all our work there. That's how we started. But, education in VR could be on any number of platforms. I just want to go back, though, and say something about the Borderless Classroom Network, if I may.
Yeah, sure.
Very important, a big part of our work is reaching many people. Our mission, our vision is to democratize education for everybody in the world. At the moment, by necessity, we're reaching the people who have the equipment, who have the connection. But we're very passionate about reaching communities that don't have internet yet and don't have headsets and don't have training. And how would we do that? We are building, or we're designing, working with sponsors and partners to create a scholarship and grant funding for those communities who don't have connection, and they can apply to us and say, we're interested in what you're doing, please help us. We would send them some equipment, we would help them get the infrastructure for internet, and we would give them free training to get them in. That's the vision, that's what we want to do. So this should be for anybody everywhere. If you're even just a little bit interested, please get in touch. Even if you've never done VR, you don't have a connection, you don't have internet, please.
Okay, so Daniel, this next question is a little controversial, but right now coronavirus pandemic is going on in whole our world. So
Yeah.
how do you see it? Is it a business opportunity for you because it's going to boost a lot of online content streaming and all those? Or do you see it as a breaker in your path of success? How do you see it?
I wouldn't consider it a business opportunity. That would be quite cynical.
Right.
Your question is quite justified, though. I mean, the whole world is jumping onto internet for business meetings, to try and keep business alive, for education. I work at a college as well here in North Wales, and we're teaching remotely now. We're doing video meetings. We're using Google Classroom. So it's logical that online conferencing would get a lot of interest and a lot of usage now. And of course, people are trying to find out what's available, and they're seeing VR. And the timing of the summit in February, we didn't time it because of that. You couldn't have, we didn't know. But the fact that this 6-day, 24/7 event happened just at the time that coronavirus was happening, people are realizing, hey, this is possible, and how do we do it? And so, yes, a lot of organizations, a lot of conferences are emailing us, calling us, saying, hey, help us. Our event got canceled. How do we do this in VR? And so, yes, we are getting a lot of business. And your second part of the question is it slowing VR down, is also an interesting question, because to a degree, it kind of is. So when the whole of China shuts down production to stop the spread of coronavirus, headset development stops as well, slows down as well. That's one point. As millions and billions of people jump onto video conferencing, the internet is taking a big hit, and it's getting strain from the amount of people, using internet. So that's an effect as well. But I would say, really, this event, the coronavirus, because of the amount of interest people are giving VR, it's accelerating the whole industry quite considerably.
Well, yes, I would consider it a very, very honest answer, because in short term, for sure, it's boosting the use of internet and it's boosting the use of virtual reality platforms. But in long term, it's definitely going to harm the virtual reality community as well, because the production gets affected, the research gets affected, which is not possible without meeting people in face to face and developing and building something. So yeah, it's a very honest answer. So Daniel, now we have reached to the most interesting part of the show, and I have one challenge for you. So this is called Avi's challenge, and my challenge are basically the Bollywood dialogues. So today I'm going to give you a dialogue which is basically from a Amitabh Bachchan movie, because I love Amitabh Bachchan. Your dialogue is, हम जहाँ खड़े होते हैं, हम जहाँ खड़े होते हैं, लाइन वहीं से शुरू होती है.
Okay, I'll try that, all right?
Yeah.
Hum jaha khade hote hai, line wahi shuru hote hai.
Amazing. You did it so well. Wow. You did it so naturally. It's like you always talk in Hindi. It's almost like that.
Maybe I'll have to learn more.
Yeah, you should, because it's always better to speak more than namaste, right?
Indeed. Namaste is a good start, though.
Right. And we are really, really happy to see the whole world is moved to namaste after coronavirus, because handshake.
Yeah.
So namaste.
Let's
is the
keep
new
it that
cool.
way.
Yeah.
Let's keep it that way. Yeah. Thank you.
Let's keep it that way. Okay, so yeah, Daniel. So now it's completely up to you. I just have the free flow, and if you have any message to community in India, community all over the world, whoever is going to watch us, so
Yeah.
yeah, it's up to you. Give them a
Okay.
message from your side.
Yeah, I do have a message. So first of all, I'm really excited to meet you, Avi, and to learn that India has such an active, vibrant VR community where we're super passionate about reaching all communities. And we're very aware, I was going to say this, because my co-founder is in the US and I'm in Europe, when we do events, usually we kind of hit the time zones for North America and for Europe, and we're very, very aware that many of our events are at a time that don't really suit India right up to Australia. So we're developing that now. We're working with some people in Australia and maybe Hawaii for them to put on events at better time zones. But really my message is we want to meet your Indian XR VR community. We invite you over to come and have a look at any of our events at, Educators in VR. We also invite you to join our Discord community because there's a lot of resources there. And I know you have a lot of developers.
Right.
And education in VR requires a lot of developers at the moment. And so one of the things we're doing is we're developing a set of standards from the educators saying, like, if you build content for education, please think about these things. And we want to share that with anybody who's building content so that they have the best chance of building content that would actually be usable in the classroom. We extend a huge big welcome out to all of your members. Please come and find us at www.educatorsinvr.com, on our Twitter at educatorsvr, on our Discord at YouTube. Come and find us, come and join the conversation, share your resources. We're really, really open community membership. So I feel very blessed to have met you, and I hope we find many ways of collaborating together.
Yeah, amazing. We would love to. And all the mentioned links are available in the description. You can find them. You
Great.
can talk to Daniel anytime, and you can join the community, join the Discord, get
Great.
any kind of content from Daniel, and provide your educational content to educators in VR community. And yeah, we are looking forward to collaborations.
Yeah,
Yes.
one more thing I wanted to add. In the beginning of May, we're running another conference called Students in VR. It's and this is the other way around. We're bringing in students who are doing work in VR, and they are giving presentations to the educators.
To the educators.
So we're,
Wow.
you know what I mean? So we're kind of flipping.
Listening to the both
Yeah.
sides and understanding how to
Exactly.
go it forward. Yeah,
Exactly.
it's amazing. It's
So
amazing.
we're developing this project. We started as educators in VR, but we're developing students in VR to give them a voice, because essentially it's about that generation now.
That's a very cool idea. So yeah, we are looking forward for it as well, and I hope that a lot of students and virtual reality educators will join from India as well.
Yeah, please, absolutely.
Okay, so thanks for coming on the show, Daniel.
Thank you, Avi. Thank you so much.
It's lovely to host you. Thank you.
All right, speak soon.
Okay, so this was Daniel from Educators in VR. Join his community, join his Discord. And to end the show, I would like to say follow the 21-day national lockdown, because social distancing is working like a social vaccine in this hard time of coronavirus. Keep safe, keep yourself safe, keep your surroundings safe. Do wear a mask if you have to go out, and keep visiting us over and over.